Well, here's an interesting application for systems of equations. You've got a parabola that's going to pass through 3 points. So just quick visualization, if you go to 1 comma 2, which is approximately right here, and then negative 3 comma 4, which is approximately right here, and then 0 comma 5, and that would be approximately right here. Then there's going to be a parabola that, okay, my picture isn't beautiful, but there's going to be a parabola that goes through those 3 points. And we're going to be using, the parabola is going to be of the form y equals ax squared plus b times x plus c. And then we just need to use the given points to find out what a, b, and c are. So basically you just go through and plug in the x and the y that are given. So for the first one, it's going to say 2 equals a, and then replace x with a 1. And then go to the next one and plug in the x and the y. So y is a 4, and then a times negative 3 is squared plus b times negative 3 plus c. And then go to the last point, and it's saying that y is a 5, and then plug in x is a 0. So right now I'm just plugging in the numbers and not simplifying at all. Now I'm ready to simplify. If you look at the bottom equation, this is going to be 0, this is going to be 0, so it's just going to leave us that c equals 5. So 5 is equal to c. And that's nice because we're already done with finding out what c equals. And then I need to use these two equations and simplify them a little bit and find out what a and b equals. Okay, so for this one, if I simplify that, it's going to say 2 equals, and then 1 squared will just be 1, so that's just a, and then b times 1, that will just be b, and the c, we already found it's 5, so you can go ahead and substitute 5. And then go to the other equation, this equation, and do the same thing. So it's going to be 4 equals, negative 3 squared is a positive 9, so that's going to be 9a. Then there's going to be negative 3b, and again the c is 5, so you can just put a plus 5. And now we need to use either substitution or elimination to solve for the a and the b. I think that substitution would be the easiest, because if I take this top equation and I leave the a on this side but move everything else to the left side, so in other words subtract b from both sides, leave the a on the right side, also subtract 5 from both sides, that says that a equals, a 2 minus 5 will be negative 3, and then minus b. So that's what a equals. And then I can take that and substitute it into the second equation. So the second equation will say 4 equals 9 times a, but then replace a with minus 3 minus b. Then there's a minus 3b and a plus 5. And then we should be able to solve for b. So I need to distribute, and that's going to leave 4 times negative 3 is negative 27, and then minus 9b, minus 3b, and plus a 5. So on the right side, if you combine the b's, that's going to be negative 12b, and the 5 and the negative 27 is going to make negative 22, and the 4 is just sitting there patiently waiting for us to finish. So 2 more steps to solve for b, add 22 to both sides. So we're going to have negative 12b on the right side and 26 on the left side. And then divide by negative 12 and divide by negative 12. And the b is going to equal, let's see, 26 divided by 12. So I could reduce that, especially if I have a blue pen, because I could divide by 2 and divide by 2 to simplify. So that's going to leave a 13 over 6, and don't forget the minus sign. So there is the b. And now I just need to find out what a equals. And what I could do is just grab this equation right here, because that has a in it. And that's the simplest form, so let me just bring that down to my work over here. And then substitute that the b is a negative, so that means this equation becomes negative 3 minus a negative 13 over 6, and then that's what a equals. So let's see, if we get a common denominator, I'll have to multiply by 6 on the bottom and 6 on the top, so I would have negative 18 sixths, and then a negative negative will be plus 13 sixths. And when you add those together, it turns out that a equals negative 18 and positive 13 is negative 5 over 6. Okay, so the equation would be that in front of x squared, that's where the a goes, so negative 5 6 and then x squared. In front of the x, that's where the b goes, negative 13 over 6 times x. And then the c, and from what I remember, the c was equal to 5. Yes, the c is equal to 5. So let me just erase this c and put a 5. And that is the equation for the parabola.